everyone, it's Christy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a super fun Jungle Book inspired trifold card with a peekaboo window using this stamp set from Fawn called Critters in the Jungle. And I'm going to dive right into the coloring here because it's going to be a long video just because there's a lot of details, but I hope you're really going to enjoy it. So I'm starting out with my elephant here, and I'm giving him an all-over wash of W1, and then I'm taking my W3 and just laying in where I want my shadows to be. So that would be anywhere where there would be anything overlapping so that the sun wouldn't hit it. So behind his ears, under his trunk, at his back legs, any place like that, I'm going to put in some shadows. And then I'm going to deepen those with my W5. And that's just going to really bring him to life and make him look three-dimensional. So once I've laid in those deepest shadows, I'm going to grab my W3 and start to blend those out. And then I'll finish everything by giving it a coat of W1 just to blend in all that transition and make it super smooth. So next I'm going to move on to my leopard here, and I'm going to color him black to make him look like Bagheera from the Jungle Book. And I know that Bagheera is a panther and not a leopard, but I'm just working with what I've got here. This is kind of a tribute and, not an exact. I'm working with the stamps that I have. But anyway, I'm going to color him black, and to do that I'm going to use a series of dark gray markers. So I gave him a wash of the W5, and then I'm adding in W7 for my shadows and deepening those with the W9. And that is going to make him look black, but it's going to give him some different shades of gray in there so that he won't just be a solid image and you'll still be able to see his face and the details of his body. So I'm just going to blend that all back out with my W7 and then my W5. And when I've got that all nice and smooth the way I want it, I'm going to go back and take the W7 just to color in those spots. Since I can't get rid of them, I'm just going to work with them. So I'm going to give them their detail by coloring them in. Then just use the W9 for his nose. Then I'm moving on to the snake, and I'm using YG91, YG93, and YG95. Now this is not Ka because it wouldn't be to scale, and also depending on which version of the Jungle Book you read or see, Ka is usually not a friend. So, but it's just a nod to Ka by putting another snake in there. So after I have all the shading the way I want it, I'm going to grab the YG97 and start to add in the details of the stripes on the snake's body by just doing kind of squiggly triangles that radiate up towards the inner edge of his body. And then I'll just use R22 for his tongue. I use those same series of darker greens, the YG95, YG97, and YG99 for the grasses and the leaves. I figured out that I'm only going to have room for 2 of the monkeys, so I'm just coloring the 2 on the right, and I'm using E51 and E53 for their faces and their ears. And then I'm grabbing E44, E47, and E49 for the rest of their bodies. This is kind of my go-to brown combination for animals. So I'm just going to put in a quick wash of the E44, add in my shadows with the E47 and the E49, and then just blend everything out in the reverse using the next lightest color to kind of drag out the darkest color and make that transition smooth. The last thing I'm going to color are these little flowers. I'm using Y13 for the center and then just RV17 right around that and then blending out with the RV14. And those will add a nice pop of color to my card. So I'll just die cut everything out and set it aside and we can move on to the assembly. So I've got 2 standard size portrait style cards here, and I'm just going to flip those on their sides so that I can glue them together. But before I do that, I need to cut in my peekaboo window. So I'm grabbing the Fawn stitched circle stackables die, and I'm going to tape that into place and just run that through my Cuttlebug. Next I have die cut 2 green panels with the Lawn Fawn Meadow Borders die. I've used a darker one that's going to go on the inside of my card and a lighter one that's going to go on my outside. So I'll just glue that inside one into place first. And then I'm just going to put that inside the other card so that I can get an idea and make sure that that's exactly where I wanted it before that glue is dry. And then I'm going to take the front grass panel and I'm going to glue that on by putting the glue directly on the card base. That way I don't get any glue in the hole where I don't need it. And then I can glue that grass panel over top. I've stamped out my sentiment on the inside panel. That's going to be the third layer of the trifold. And it just says happy birthday because I thought this would kind of be like a happy birthday Mowgli card, as if all his jungle friends would send him this card for his birthday. And then I just added a dot of glue to the ends of these vines, and I'm going to press my card panel right over top of those so they're actually glued to the inside of that front panel. And then I'm going to grab the inside insert there and just put it together so that I can start to lay out my design. I'm adhering everything into place with Tombow Mono Multi Glue, and I'm just being very careful to only put the glue behind the parts of the image that will be overlapping the blue cardstock on that front of the card. So I don't want any glue to get inside that peekaboo window or my card would stick together. And then I'm just going to work in layers, moving back and forth between the front and the second panel, just so I can put a really pleasing arrangement together and create a really cute scene. I wanted to place Bagheera kind of on the front and center part of the card, just so that he would probably be the first one to greet his friend Mowgli for his birthday. So I thought that he would kind of be leading him into the card. And I just dressed that up with a couple of leaves. I also colored the bear from Lawn Fawn's Love You S'more stamp set to be blue, but he was too small in proportion to the other animals that were already on the front of the card, so I set him aside for later. I white heat embossed my sentiments onto some black cardstock from the Lawn Fawn Party Animal stamp set, and I did just goof and drop that and got glue all over the front of my card, but I just grabbed a baby wipe and wiped that up and put it back into place. And then I grabbed this parrot that I had previously colored for another project and had him left over, and I decided to add him to the front of the card. Now there isn't like a particular parrot in the Jungle Book, but there would certainly be parrots living in the jungle, so I don't think he looks too out of place there. And there you can see on the inside that I went ahead and added Baloo way up top beyond the grass so that he looks a little bit further in the distance, so his scale is not so disproportionate to the other animals now. The card is almost finished, so I can go ahead and glue my back two panels together. That's going to form the trifold card. I'll just press those firmly into place and make sure that the lines are all nice and straight so that my card looks well put together. As a finishing touch, I'm just going to grab those extra few images that I saved for the end, and I'm going to adhere them to the inside of the card. That's the additional monkey, a bunch of bananas, a leaf, and a flower. So I'll just glue those all into place, and then I'll just show you quickly again how the card works. So I think it's a super cute trifold card with a peekaboo window that kind of leads you into the rest of the scene, and I think it's really fun, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thumbs upping and liking and subscribing and leaving me comments. I really appreciate each one. So if you missed my last video, it's there for you on screen right now. You can just click the little video clip and it'll take you right to it. Thanks and have a great day.